Sandhya, it's good to hear that Meta has a progressive policy on gender amongst its employees. Let's switch it a little bit and talk about gender diversity in the consumer base. We've already said that in Asia in particular, women make a large part of the gaming market. So how does your gaming strategy, how does the future strategy development acknowledge and accommodate women in the marketplace as consumers? And how does the game development process acknowledge and accommodate women as consumers?
Taimur, one of the things that we've seen is that, in fact, over the pandemic, we added around, in just 2020 alone, we added around 60 million gamers globally. Half of them were women. And like Tanveer pointed out earlier today, half of the world's global gamers in the world are women. So the games themselves need to reflect the diversity that we see in gamers, and the gaming industry needs to reflect that as well. And it's not just a social imperative, it's also an economic imperative. One of the studies that we ran recently, and we published the research findings in December, and we ran it across markets, including Korea in Asia, found that many gamers would play more or would, identify better with the game if they saw themselves reflected in the game as characters. And what we found was only 35% of the people that we surveyed actually saw someone that represented them. So that to me speaks of a gap that's not just social, but also economic. If you want a game that is successful, right, you have to better reflect your gaming population and the people that are playing those games. And I think part of the issue is around the industry itself. While gamers half of them tend to be female, the industry itself is only 25% women. And in senior roles, there's a survey that ran.
Sorry to interrupt, but the point being, we recognize that this is the situation. We recognize that something needs to be done. What is Meta doing? I mean, what is your policy and your activity designed to acknowledge those research-based findings?
So we've done a fair amount of work here. One, we continue to publish research. We've done work around how you can build for more inclusive cultures in gaming. We also, in designing the metaverse, where gaming could be an entry point into the metaverse, we're building inclusion by design. So there is work that we're doing. We've tied up with academics, with think tanks, with civil rights groups, where we're trying to build that in inclusion and diversity by design. We announced a $50 million fund and a 2-year research program with the various partners and academics. And that's some of the work that we hope will help inform how we build a more inclusive metaverse as well.